Hey everyone, it is Dr. Kyle Olson with Chiropractic First of Rockford, and I want to take a moment today to talk to you a little bit about the position or the posture and of your spine, and specifically of your head, and just how much changes to that, even a matter of a few inches, can dramatically affect the way the physiology in your body is working, affecting both soft tissue, things like muscles, ligaments, tendons, but ultimately affecting the spine and the nervous system as a whole as well. So while you may not think much about your posture on a day-to-day basis, it turns out that that is a huge indicator for your health. Over time, your posture changes if they become irregular, or if you start to carry yourself, especially in your neck and upper back, with what's called forward head posture. It adds a significant amount of pressure to the joints in your spine, as well as a significant amount of strain to the soft tissues, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, everything that supports you and keeps you upright throughout the day. The longer it's in that position, it does start to create damage to those joints. So bad posture can start to lead to things like arthritis earlier in life, degeneration if that's allowed to progress, and then ultimately pressure on the nervous system resulting from that can affect the nerve conductivity as it travels out to the body. And this is also something that's a very big trigger for people, especially with things like headaches, specifically at the very top of your neck. The nerves in that area relate to headaches and migraines. So if you are constantly out of or in a bad posture, in a bad position, putting a strain on those tissues, it becomes much easier for that to trigger into a headache episode. It can also affect if you know somebody that says, I carry my stress, and they can point right to their shoulder and they pinch the muscle up here. Again, when you have a neck or a head that's falling forward over the body where it shouldn't be, it's going to put a large strain on the muscles that they insert into this area, creating a chronic state of tension, muscle tightness, and ultimately the body's going to start to create muscle knots in order to stabilize as much as possible. So while you feel the pain in the shoulder, the actual issue is because the neck is changing or has changed the overall position that it's in. I have a really great icon here, or a good picture that illustrates just how severe this can be. This was published in a medical journal some time ago and caught my eye, and I think it's a great visualization for just how much of an impact your posture has on your neck. So as you look at this, the average human head, or the average adult human head, is between 12 and 15 pounds. This is using 12 pounds as the example weight for this individual. And the study showed that for every 1 inch that your head goes into what's called anterior head carriage or forward head posture, it adds about 10 pounds of pressure onto the tissues in your head and neck. So, for instance, the first picture here, this is an average or a proper position. The head is directly over the shoulders. The weight is distributed evenly. There's no wear and tear on the tissues. There's no interference on the nervous system. When it starts to transition 2 inches forward, that's an extra 20 pounds of pressure. So that 12-pound head now weighs, or functionally weighs, 32 pounds. When that person is carrying their head 3 inches forward, it becomes 42 pounds of pressure on the joints and the tissues in the neck. Now, the other thing you may notice about this is if you know somebody that carries themselves really far forward, they're hunched over, they have a large swelling at the base of their neck, their shoulders. That's something we hear from patients a lot when they come in. They want to avoid having that large, painful hump. The reason that develops for most individuals is it's not traumatic, but it happens over a long period of time, many years, where their head forward. And so the muscles become stretched out over that transition point in the shoulders. They become inflamed, they become swollen, and now they end up hunched over in that position. And unfortunately, the damage at that point oftentimes is so severe that it can't be corrected. So this is a long-term process. Most often, these kind of changes don't happen because of trauma or happen quickly, but years and years and years of neglect and poor posture due to hobbies, jobs, family life, things like that. Now, I say all this to give you hope. The position that you're in, your posture, whether it's your head and neck is in this example, or your low back, your mid back, your hips, your pelvis, all these joints, is something that you can control. And it's something that as a chiropractor, we very actively work with our patients on to make sure they know the proper ergonomics, the proper position to be in. They know how to carry themselves. And by taking x-rays and evaluating, and posture being a large part of that evaluation, we're able to bring that into a more proper alignment and then demonstrate that over time with therapies and things, and then ultimately updated x-rays that we do in our office. This has a huge impact on your health and well-being. If this is left out of position for too long, as I said, you will start to feel pain. numbness or tingling into the arms, hands, or fingers, headaches. These are some of the more common symptoms that come from poor position of the head. If your body is only designed to carry 12 to 15 pounds and it's being forced to carry 40 pounds or more, you can imagine just how much damage that does over a period of time. So if you're a current client, you likely have seen these type of changes or addressed them with your chiropractor, with your doctor, and we're so happy to be part of that journey with you. But if you're somebody that isn't, or you're hearing this information maybe for the first time, let this be a wake-up call to just how important the way you carry yourself is. Please be evaluated by a chiropractor, by a local doctor in your area if you're not in our area. This has such a big impact on your health, and by changing this, you're changing the most important curve in your spine, and you can really have a dramatic impact on the way that your body heals and functions moving forward. As always, posture matters. Have a great day.